First and foremost, I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and rule well. And salutations to you brothers that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. All right, I want to get into this quick lesson today about patience. All right, if you, as you brothers know, we at the end of this thing, right? We like right there at the end of this thing, right? And when just like with anything in the world, when you anticipating something right at the end of it all, you get really excited, and like for me where I work in like manufacturing type of deal, right? And they tell us all the time, right around the times for holidays or when you're about to take vacation or right before it's time to go is the most dangerous time because you get a little excited and you get your mind off of the things that's important and safety. Most accidents and incidents occur around those times, and so the principle of it all is you tend to lose focus when you get super excited about stuff like that. So we at the end of this thing, you know, um, we only got these two major big prophecies left, Mark of the Beast and World War III, nuclear missiles. So with that being said, we have to, constantly examine ourselves, make sure that, we're not going off and trying to, jump the gun, so to say, um, because no man knows the day or the hour, so you might not know what's going on ahead of time, but be patient. You don't want to put yourself in a worse scenario than what you're already in. Just like I was explaining about the safety issue, you got 5 minutes left for it's time to go home, and you start acting carelessly, and next thing you know, you get your hand cut off. you know and now that 5 minutes before you get to go home peacefully, now you're getting rushed to a hospital. You're going to be in the hospital for a while. You're going to be, it just screws up a lot of things. So Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. Jump right into the scriptures. This is Hebrews chapter 10. I'm going to start at verse 35. Hebrews 10:35 says, cast not away therefore your confidence, which has great recompense of reward. Okay, for ye have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, ye might receive the promise. Okay, so for the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity, you're doing the will of the Most High, but the Lord says be patient. And Lord willing, we're going to get to one of these scriptures that get into it, and it's going to say it here as well. But at the same time, in the scriptures, and Jeremiah 51:20, thou my battle axe and weapons of war. You have to be patient. Be patiently waiting on that time. Just because the Most High said it and that's what's going to happen doesn't mean you go out there and you start doing what you got to do right now. That's actually contrary to the Most High's word and his plan. Let me keep reading. Verse 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Okay, so as an analogy, you at the bus stop, you waiting on the bus, and the bus supposed to be here at 10:15, and you looking down the street, you don't see the bus. It's 10:10 or something like that. You looking down the street, you don't see the bus, you start panicking, and now you start walking. Maybe a minute before the bus get there, you don't see it, so you start walking. Now the bus is pulling up, and you running back to the bus stop, but now the bus already took off. Because you wasn't patient, you didn't wait, you didn't miss the whole bus. It says be patient, for it says for verse 37, for yet a little while, and he shall come, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Okay, so as an analogy, is like the bus gonna come, it's gonna come on time. Just be patient. The key there is being patient. This is verse 38. Now the just shall live by faith, and if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. Okay, so in the same analogy, you waiting. A lot of the scriptures tell us, certain things like he's gonna send for many fishers, and then they're gonna hunt them. If the Most High called you out and it's fishing season and you want to start hunting, basically you don't have the patience and you don't have the faith. The Most High said, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. You just have to patiently wait. You can't just jump the gun and make this your own agenda. So it says, verse 39, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe in the saving of the soul. Okay, so like the scripture, basically the scriptures, like the scripture says, it laid out the whole game plan for us. All we got to do basically is sit back and wait and watch and do what was commanded of us, push this truth and sincerity. Okay, and try to wake up the brothers, because we're here to wake up the elect. Let's not forget, lose sight what we're here for. We're here to wake up the elect. and also prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, you know. So anything other than that, if you don't want to stray from what your main purpose is, you know, you don't want to start losing patience because you ready for this to go out and you forgot what your main purpose was, and now, you know, you getting frustrated with the things that's going on around you, and now you just taking your frustration out, but then you forgot what your whole job was. Your whole job was to be waking up the elect, you know. And so you got to keep how you say the prize in sight, you know. You got to keep your eye on the prize, basically. All right, next scripture I'm gonna get into, it's in the book of James. This is the book of James, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at I started you know, the points in verse 3 and 4, but I'll start at verse 1. James, the servant of Yahweh and the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. All right, and that verse there, you know, I just read that just because, you know, that's a lot of meat in that verse. You know, that answers a lot of questions, you know, to things and other topics, like who is that great multitude that's mentioned in Revelation 7 after they go through the 12 tribes, and, you know, who is all these people out of all nations and all kindreds. You know, that's the 12 tribes. It's just the 12 tribes that were scattered abroad, you know, throughout the four corners of the earth. Like I said, it's a different topic. Verse 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. All right. So when you catching hell and stuff like that, you know, count it all joy. For one, the Most High chastises his son, you know, and if a child basically isn't chastised, then he's a bastard, you know. And all this is he's purging us. He's refining us like gold is refined. He's basically building up true soldiers. You're going through boot camp right now. Okay, don't let that sway you. You know, you at boot camp. You know, in the military. You know, I've never been in the military or anything, but I can imagine at boot camp they might have you you know, doing this and doing that. You might think that you know, in boot camp you getting thrown through the dirt and the mud and all that, and you just think that you at the bottom of the, you know, the barrel. You know, you don't feel like you're getting honored or nothing like that. You just feel like, you know, just another piece of dirt. But at the end of the day, when you at your so-called ceremony and you got your little nice outfit on or whatever, and you're getting your awards and stuff like that, and they give you your new title, like these are, you know, the defenders of whatever, you know, then you feel all high and mighty. But you can't get there until you know, you got to start somewhere, you know, and you have to build up. You can't just jump into this, you know. So it says it says knowing this first, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Okay. So the trying of your faith worketh patience. Okay, people, you know, how do you build patience? Okay, the trying of your faith. Let's go back to the bus analogy. You know, if you know you're waiting on the bus and you know it's 10:14, the bus come at 10:15, and you don't see the bus coming around. You know, it says let me get back to the verse. It says knowing this first, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So you sit at the bus stop at 10:14. You know, and you make the conscious decision, you know what, the bus said it's going to be here at 10:15. I know it look like I'm going to be late, you know what I'm saying, but I got to have faith. I'm going to just sit here and I'm going to wait on the bus, you know, because I have faith that bus is going to come here at this time that it said it was going to come, you know, and you sit there and you wait. And so now the bus, you know, the bus gets there because you have faith, you know, you building your patience. Now, okay, well, yeah, I know it don't look like it's coming, but, you know, I got patience for that. Or, you know, you know, you have a child, you know, you get patience. You have a newborn child or something like that, and the baby's crying or something's wrong like that, you know, you don't just freak out and be like, I don't understand what's going on. You know, you try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that, you know, and you have faith that you're gonna get that baby okay, and the baby's gonna stop crying. You might not see it immediately the first thing you do. You might have to try 3 or 4 things. Maybe the baby need a diaper change, you know. You check the baby's diaper and you notice the diaper clean. You don't just freak out and give, well, I don't know what's wrong with the baby, and just give up, you know. You know, you like, okay, maybe it's not the diaper, maybe the baby's hungry. You go get the baby a bottle, and the baby might have wanted a bottle. So now, with your faith that the baby gonna stop crying, the baby gonna be okay, you also growing in your patience, because you know, like, all right, well, I gotta just do the next deal, you know. It says, verse 4, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire and wanting nothing. Okay, so in your patience, you know, you building up patience, you also building up faith, ultimately in the Most High and His Son, you know. Most High is there to take care of you, you know. Although things may seem like it's going bad right now, you know. You might, you know, being on the road and get a flat tire in the middle of the rain and no cell phone service, you know, and you put a prayer and you have faith on the Most High, you know. Most High take care of you, you know, and you might be sitting out there for a while, you know. It might seem like an hour, 2 hours, maybe the third hour go by, then finally the rain stops, and now there's a tow truck or something coming by, just so happening he need to stop, and now he's helping you out, you know. You know, you growing into your faith, and also in patience. Okay, jump to the next scripture. This is still in the book of James. Start at verse 7, chapter 5, verse 7. James chapter 5, verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, let me reread that. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of Yahushua. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain. Okay, so let me reread that. Be patient until the coming of Yahushua. Okay, so you have to be patient until the Lord comes back. You know, you got to sit here and wait. You know, and be patient. You know, you basically you sitting there waiting on the bus. You got all these things going on. Oh, I can't be late for work today. You know, there might be traffic, this and that, whatever, whatnot going on. But you have to have that patience. Okay, and it says to the coming of Yahushua, behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth. That's talking about the elect, the men that endure to the end. Okay, and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. Okay, so Yahushua is really going through more than all of us. You know, he has to take the pain and the suffering and knowing who he is and how the world mocked him, and you know, according to our time, you know, humanly time, you know, it's been like 2,000 years, you know, day in, day out. So if he can wait that long, how much more should you be waiting, you know? And they ultimately offended him way more than they offended us, you know? So whatever you dealing with in your mind and in, you know, in your situation, Yahushua went through it that much more. He's our example, you know? This is verse 8. Be ye also patient, okay? Establish your hearts, for the coming of Yahushua draweth nigh, okay? Be ye also patient, establish your hearts. So how do I say, you know, put in your mind, have a foundation in your mind, you know, that the bus is coming at 10:15. Basically, I got to keep going back to this analogy again. You know, sometimes it's kind of hard for me to get the words out that I want to articulate. But basically, you know, it says, let me read that one more time. It says, be ye patient, establish your hearts. Okay, so put it in your mind and build your foundation off of basically the patience and the faith. They go hand in hand. The Lord said what he said in the book. Okay. And if you've been keeping track and looking through it all, 99.9% of it has already come to pass to come true. You know, you just waiting. You got that 5 minutes left before it's time to clock out. Just be patient, you know, and you right there already, you know. It says, and also it's establish your hearts. So put that in your mind, like, you know what, that should be the forefront. You know, I know these heathen is getting out of hand. They're getting worse and worse and waxing worse and worse and worse. I just want to put my hands on these heathen. But you gotta, that foundation has to be built in your mind. You know, we gotta wait patiently for the Lord to return, and then we're gonna, when he gives us those powers, then that's when we're gonna, you know, do the will of the Most High. But until then, we have to sit here and wait. You know, it's also building up. You know, is building us up on the inside and trying us like the gold is tried in the fire. This is verse 39, verse 9. Grudge not, and here it says the word for grudge is murmur. So grudge not one against another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Okay, so don't. Let me read one more verse and then I'll go back and elaborate. Take my brethren, verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh, for example, and suffering, affliction, and of patience. Okay, so like the prophets who, you know, they had to wait. Let's talk about the 12, right? You know, they got to walk with Yahushua, you know, and then they was also always being told, you know, they was being told the kingdom of heaven is at hand, it's nigh, and things like that, you know. So if they was to take in their mind and just forget the patience and the faith, you know, and just was thinking right then and there when they seen Yahushua, like, let's drop everything, oh Lord, let's do this, you know. There would have been, you know, and if they would have had their way, you know, there would have been no covering for our sins, you know. So they would have been going way off because Yahushua had a job to do. He had to, you know, go up on the cross, take away the sins. We had to go through all of this. We had to build up Esau's case, you know, just so he could be judged and eradicated, you know. And you can't cut it short because, you know, the Most High said, you know, he set things in stone basically, and we have to go by the script. You know, you got to play it to the T. So, but it also says, grudge not or murmur not against one another, brethren. So, at the same time, you know, with the brothers coming into the truth and stuff like that, you know, you gotta also have patience towards your brethren. You know, you gotta have patience with a lot of things that's going on and going on around you. You can't, how do I say it? Again, lose track of the prize. You can't take your eye off the prize, basically, because of the fact of, you know, you're full of not full of, but you know, you vexed in the mind because of all this wickedness going on around you, you know, and what you righteously for being vexed about all this. But you got, the key thing is to stay in the patience, you know. You don't want to go off and start condemning your brother because this or that, because, you know, you're supposed to be out here trying to build the elect up and fish for the elect. You know, you can't just let's say you're on the highways and the byways and knowing in the back of your mind that we at the very, very end of this, you know, and you have somebody coming up and you just don't have the patience to break down the 12 tribes to them. You don't have the patience to break down the curses to them. You know, you might think that they should know this already, you know, but there's going to be some, you know, that's waking up here at the last minute. So you got to be patient with them, you know. It might be, you know, sometimes, and I know myself, for myself, I'm guilty of this sometimes, and I always have to, you know, catch myself and examine myself with this, you know. Sometimes when you find somebody that you know that it's kind of like, you know, they're hearkening to what you're trying to say, you know, you try to break this down to them, but you in your mind, you already know so much, you know. You basically been eating meat for a while, and you know you don't really want no milk, so you might try to start giving them some meat, you know, and they might start choking, you know. They immediately start throwing up, but you can't get mad at them because you want to start force feeding them meat. They're not ready for that. You might have to go back to the milk, and you might say, hey, it's too late for the milk. If you don't got the milk by now, you just not gonna get it. But at the same time, you was commanded to go out there and bid as many to the marriage, you know. You're supposed to go out there and wake up the elect. So there might still be some brothers out there, you know, that might need the milk, you know, but you can't, you know, murmur against one another because of, you know, where they are and, you know, and their learnings and stuff like that. So you have to, you know, be patient with them. They might be walking by for the first time and, you know, they be like, oh, I can't get with you guys because you guys are racist, you know. You can't just be like, well, to hell with you, you know. First of all, you try the spirit, you know. Initially, this isn't gonna sound, you know, sane to anybody off, you know, at the first, you know, the very first time of hearing this, you know. So just like as a real life testimony, when the very first video I ever seen about Hebrew Israelites was Apostle Elder Tahar, and when I first saw that in my wickedness, you know, I thought that he was going way off. You know, I heard him, you know, they were, you know, using not so-called churchly language, you know, but you know, the Most High, like the scriptures say, my sheep will hear my voice, you know. And looking back, the Most High, he had to put that patience on me, you know. And it was just like, I don't even know why I'm watching these videos, but over and over and over and over again, you know, I was drowning out. First, you know, any of you brothers watching the highways and the byways videos, the first thing first you learn, you know, watching those videos build patience, you know. When I try to show those videos to, you know, some other people, they're like, how do you listen to this? And all these sirens going off in the background, and nowadays they got all the, you know, the people playing drums on at, you know, wherever brothers are preaching. So there's an abundance of noise. You got people walking around talking. You hear the fire trucks, the police cars. They always coming by hitting their sirens right in front of the camps. You have the drummers coming around, you know. And, you know, for you brothers that's been watching the videos for a while, I guarantee you don't even hear that anymore. You know, you don't even hear, all you hear is the word coming out. And the sirens and all that stuff, you know. And for me, I listen with headphones on, you know. Because, you know, in my time, you know, in my situation, I, you know, have my headphones on, listen to the scripts. So, you know, you tend to drain that out. You know, you get the patience. You got all this noise going around, but if you really want this food, you got to dig through all that. You got to be patient to, you know, dig this out, dig that out. So you actually gain the patience there. But back to my testimony about coming into the truth, you know, looking back, the Most High had to put that patience on me to just keep watching these videos, and then until I got past how the world would say the rough language, you know. And the scriptures say, though it may be rude in speech, not in knowledge, you know. And so, you know, all praise to the Most High and His Son, that the fact of the Lord put the patience on me to, you know, to keep hearing and listening to the videos, you know, till I got to this point, you know, because if not, you know, I would have, you know, just because I didn't want to have the patience, you know, or let's put it this way, because the Most High wouldn't have put the patience on me at that point in time, I wouldn't have been in His truth, you know. Back to that first analogy, I would left at 10:14. I didn't see the bus coming, so I left. Now I missed the whole bus completely, you know, and that's a dire situation. That bus is giving you a ride to the one interview, to your one job that you would get to feed your family, you know. That's how dire it is. Or you got to get your child to the hospital before they die, you know. You see that the panicking and dooming, the child's gonna die if he's not in the hospital in 5 minutes, you know, and the bus look like it's not coming. You got 1 minute to the time the bus, you know. You don't want to just you know, jump the gun, basically, you know. Have patience, you know. It says, verse 10. Well, let me go back to verse 9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of Yahweh, for example, in suffering, affliction, and the patience. Okay, behold, we count them happy which endure. Okay, key word, we count them happy which endure, the ones that endure to the end. Even though they're catching that affliction and that hell, they endured to the end. John the Revelator, you know, he endured unto the end. He was still writing while he was in prison, you know. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of, and you have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and tender, and of tender mercy. Okay, another great example of Job, you know. Job's wife said, why don't you just curse the Most High and die, you know? But he had that patience to the end. He was going through a lot of hell and affliction at that point in time, you know? And if you brothers was to put yourself in those shoes, what would you do? It's easy to say, nah, I would just have faith in the Lord. But as you know, you brothers are going through it right now, you know? You make a decision all the time about, you know, what's going on. Like, you know, maybe I need to change something up, you know? But you have to look at it in spiritual eyes. The Most High might be trying and refining you, you know? Like it says, to build your faith through patience, you know. Let me see where we at. We're done there. Got two more scriptures, brothers. Bear with me. This is Revelations chapter 14 and verse 12. Here's the patience of the saints. Okay. Now we in the video I did yesterday, which was it was basically a milk video talking about, you know, the Most High and His people, His chosen people. You know, it says we found out who the saints was. The saints are the children of Israel. Okay, the elect are the children of Israel. Here is the patience of the saints. Okay, so they're gonna let you know what the patience is that you should have. Okay, here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushua. Okay, so the brothers is keeping the commandments to, you know, to the best of their abilities, and the faith of Yahushua. What is the faith of Yahushua? That He's gonna come back, you know, He's gonna return, He's gonna deliver us, and then, you know, He's gonna switch some things up and around, and, you know, we no longer gonna be serving Esau, and He's gonna be serving us, you know. And I know a lot of you brothers, especially if you brothers are like sincerely in this truth, you know, you can't wait to that moment. You know, you tired of being in this hellhole. But you know, that's the patience and the faith of the saints. You know, that they waiting on Yahushua to, you know, come back and take these crowns off these kings' heads and put them in subjection. You know. Get to my last scripture here. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8. Again, this is saying the same thing we just read in Revelation. It says, therefore wait upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Okay? And you know, key is up in at the beginning of the verse, says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I raise up to the prey. Okay, so we basically have to wait till that first shot is fired off. You know, it's like in those old Western movies or military movies. You got the whole gun line there, You know, everybody's locked and loaded, got their guns pointed at the enemies, but they waiting on that first gunshot, you know. They waiting, you know. Once that first gunshot go off, then all the other gunshots go off. You can't prematurely shoot off your gun there because you could be making a grave mistake. What if the other side surrendered and then you didn't shot off your gun and you done lost half of your men, you not knowing that the other side was going to surrender. Okay, so Most High is here basically saying, wait here, wait ye upon me until the day that basically I strike. Till the Most High makes that preemptive strike. Till he sends Yahweh shot back, you know. So, you know, all in this lesson, you know, that you have to maintain that patience, you know, and you have to sit there and endure unto the end. But and then enduring and the patience, they go hand in hand, you know. You got to patiently endure, okay, and it's also building faith. Though you might not see it now, that faith is the substance of that, roughly paraphrased. Basically, it's, you can't see it. It's like oxygen, okay. It's like in air. You can't see the air and oxygen, but you breathe it. You believe you breathing it, you know, at least, you know. But that's the point. You believe that you breathing in air right now. Although you've never seen it a day in your life, you believe you breathing it in. That's real faith, you know. And it's so much of faith that nobody even thinks about it, you know. So, you know, that's just like second nature. That's how we supposed to be on this. Nobody ever questions air and oxygen. Like, just think about that. That's how we supposed to be with this word. There should be no question, you know, even though you might see, like, at Jacob's trouble, it's going to look like Esau is you know, is putting it in, you know, and you're going to see some of the saints being beheaded and stuff like that. You're going to look like, man, where's the, you know, the coming of Yahweh Shah? When are we going to get delivered? I thought we was going to have the upper hand. You know, you get into a spirit like that, then, you know, everything you didn't work for probably is going to be in vain, you know. Or at that same time, you know, you start seeing all martial law and all that kicking off, and then you want to start taking things into your own hand when the Most High said you got to wait. You know, it might be a certain time and date. Now, you know, you don't want to lose, you don't want to lose everything, you know, all that you work for, you know, because of the fact that you done lost patience, you know. You got to have that patience. You got to go back, you know, to what we're here for, you know. We supposed to have that faith. We supposed to be waiting basically on our leader to come and start this thing off. So we can't take none of this into our own hand. And then another scripture, like, not murmur not against your brethren, you know. So when you out on the highways and the byways and you coming across people or people, you know, trying to teach this truth, have patience with them. Also with your brethren that's in the truth, you know. Your brethren might be going through certain things here and there, and, you know, like, you know, first and foremost, you know, the Most High is the one that's calling the shots, you know. He's the one saying you in and you out, you know. None of us know who's going to be the chosen at the end of the day. So, you know, you don't want to be accounted for murmuring against one of your brethren, you know, because, you know, and not examine yourself, because you might, you know, start losing some of the patience, and you start to murmur against your brother, and when your brother might be righteously, you know, just being patient. He's enduring his affliction at the point in time, you know. I know here's a real life example. You know, I had to examine myself on this whole thing because I was beating myself up over my job, you know. I every once in a while my job makes me work on the weekends, and I hate working on the weekends because, you know, I look at it this way, you know. I put in 40 hours a week for Esau, building up Esau's house. I always thought like this, you know, before the truth, when it came to, you know, I would spend all this time building up Esau's house, but what do I have for my own house? What am I building up for myself? I can go over here and make this guy billions of dollars, but I can't make myself $50,000, you know. So, you know, that right there, you know, I used to hate that, you know, and I'm like, why would I want to keep doing this for you and I can't do this for myself? But now, you know, in the truth, it's like, okay, I'm working, you know, putting in this work for, you know, Esau, and, you know, I wish I could be doing more work for Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, for the truth, for the brethren, you know. And, you know, that's a righteous thought, you know. You know, not to say it's a righteous thought, you know, but from a, you know, a worldly sense, you would think that's, you know, righteous, you know. When David wanted to build a house for the Most High, you know, from a carnal sense, that might have seemed like a righteous thing, but the Most High said he didn't need all that, you know. So it's not what you think and what's going on in your mind, but, you know, how you say the director sees fit. You know, the director might say, nah, I want you to walk from over here because we're going to have a smoke screen over here, and you didn't even know about the smoke screen, but I'm the director. I know what's going on, you know. But, you know, long story short, you know, with my job, you know, I was like, you know what, I just want to quit my job or go get a little, you know, a little job just to say I have a job, you know, whatnot. But, you know, I was talking to one of the brothers, and the brothers was like, you know, you can't be going off. You know, yeah, you're supposed to be pushing his truth and sincerity, you know. You're supposed to be out there pushing his truth, you know. And you got to, how do you say, cut off any of your members basically that's holding you back, you know. It's not saying, it's not the same thing as like, you know, you wanting to willingly work all these hours, now you don't have any time for the truth. No, not saying that at all. But at the same time, like Yahweh Shah say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. You know, if you got child support or something to pay, what do we do then? Do we, you know that destruction's coming, and you know we about to be delivered. Do you what? Stop paying your child support and stop going to work, quit your job, stop paying child support. Now you're getting locked up and you're getting more hell upon yourself, and you crying to the Most High to deliver you. But He already had you in a good spot. All you had to do is patiently wait where you was at. You know, you thought that, you know, you could be doing more, but this is where He had you set. He had already had you set up in a nice place. But then you want to take it upon your hand because, long story short, you didn't have the patience. You wanted to get things popping here and now, you know. There might be a time and a place for that. He might have you working right now to stack up for this point in time because you might not have a job down the road and you're going to only be pushing the truth, you know. And that's what's going to sustain you or something like that. Or maybe at the job that you are at, you know, you could be there ministering to the people, you know, there, you know. That might be basically the house full of sick people, and you might be the doctor that's supposed to be there, you know. You might not, you just don't necessarily know what the, you know, the Father's plan is. But, you know, and when talking to the brother about my scenario with the, you know, with my job, you know, he brought it out to me. He was like, you know, he gave me the real examples. Like, you know, you basically, you know, you quit your job if you want, try to do more work for the Lord. But, you know, what happens if things start falling off, you know? And for me, I have to drive to, you know, to meet up with the brothers for camp. It's about an hour drive, you know. And also I pay for parking where where we go for camp, and there's a toll I got to pay to go over there. In order to drive, we have to have car insurance. We got to have a valid tag. You know, you got to put oil in the car, put gas in the car, stuff like that, you know. Also, on my phone right now, I'm shooting this video, you know, and to upload it, I need the internet, you know. Also, electricity and things like that, you know. And food, you know. The Most High is going to provide for us our daily bread, in which, you know, my daily bread is being provided. You know, I don't have an over an abundance of anything, you know. And all praise to the Most High that I don't, because, you know, I could be going off. If I had more money than what I really needed, you know, more than my daily bread, then I have, you know, extra time to go doing other things. But then also, if I didn't have enough of my daily bread, like the brother was saying, then my mind and my focus might just change to just that. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna eat tonight because I don't have a job. So now my main focus now is eating every night. Well, I don't know where I'm gonna stay at. Now my main focus is where I'm, you know, securing a roof over my head every night. Or, you know, now I can't make it to camp because I don't have the toll money, the gas money to maintain my car to get back and forth, you know. But because I didn't have the patience at the beginning to jump off because I wanted to go do more work for the Most High, you know, and I took it upon my own self and didn't take the patience, you know. I didn't hold fast to what, you know, that I already had, you know. I thought that I was doing more, but now I can't get to camp, you know. I can't put videos up. I don't have the internet, you know. My phone's cut off and things like that. So now I'm in a worse condition than what, excuse me. Now I'm in a worse condition than when I started. And now,